Okay, well, now that I finally got everything figured out, once again, it's been about 2 years since I've used this setup. So here we go. I've got my podcast setup going again. I don't know if I'm going to do a podcast thing or not, but I did realize that I needed to work on my audio video output and just trying to see if we can get things going a little better here. For those of you who are new to the channel, Mr. Dad Skates here. My name is Aaron, but online I go by Mr. Dad Skates. It's a little more, I don't know, it's just something I get. So now that I've got, I think my camera's going, I've got the microphone working. I'm going to try not to say 1,000 times when I do my voiceovers and talking points and all that stuff. So if you notice things sound and look a little different, that's because I'm trying to work on things to make them sound and look a little better. So let me know if it's good for you, if you can hear it well enough. If I need to tone things down a little bit, let me know, man. I'm here for you guys and want to try to make things look a little better, sound a little better. So yeah, I think I finally got it figured out after about 20 tries this morning. I think the audio, the microphone was working. I just had my output going somewhere where it shouldn't have been going. And once I figured that out, hit the playback and what do you know, I could hear myself. So here we are in the podcast setup in Pop's garage. And yeah, happy about things. So one of the things that I noticed the other day, the video I did with all of my skateboards and going over the setups and stuff, at the beginning of the video, I said I was going to try to give some tips or pointers as to what boards would be good for people. Like if you're just starting out, you've never skated before, what boards are going to be better for you? If you've skated before and you're getting back into it, maybe the board shapes have changed. And I just kind of wanted to actually touch on that because while I did talk about each of the boards and what I use them for, I didn't really say anything about, this board's going to be good or that board's going to be good for a new person, and that's my fault. So I want to try to rectify that situation a little bit. So I honestly don't have any of those boards anywhere near me. But that's okay. I'm going to use the Naruto, the P-Rod Naruto board that I bought for one of my daughters a couple years ago that she skates, but she doesn't live with us anymore. And she left it here. So every now and then I pull this one out. It's a 7.75, so it's kind of small for me as far as like a popsicle board is concerned. And if you're a new skater, I probably would recommend nothing smaller than an 8 or an 8.25 if you're just getting into it. You want something that's a little bit bigger under your feet so you can learn how to control it a little better. Once you get a lot of control, if you want to go down to a smaller board like this, you can, but I really wouldn't recommend that. And I gotta quit saying and all the time. God, I hate going back into my videos and having to cut stuff out. This is and I know better. I don't know how many courses and classes I went through. I mean, I did public speaking in college, and I had to do presentations and stuff all the time while I was in the Marine Corps, and I was told over and over and over again in the training series for both in college and in the Marine Corps, and is one of the worst things you can say when you're trying to give a presentation. So I'm going to try to get back into that, knock that out of my vocabulary once again, and see if we can improve things without me having to cut out and ums all the time. I'm going to step away here for a second. I'm going to grab another board. All right, so I'll go back to the Blackhawks board because it's kind of a shaped board. As you can see, it's got, sorry, Tony Hawk. It's got the big squared tail. It's pretty big. I don't have a tape measure. I think I said it was 7 inches. I'm not sure. I didn't really measure it. And the nose, obviously, is really big. It's a really steep nose, too, as you can see. and the tail is not nearly as steep as the nose is on this one. I think I said in the video it was a 9-inch wide board, and that was true. So 9-inch board like that. If you skated back in the 80s and early 90s before they went to the popsicle shape, you'd probably recognize that one a little easier. So if you're getting back into skating and you want to try something, get a big one. There's all kinds of shaped boards out there. Santa Cruz, Pal Peralta. I think just about everybody makes a shaped board these days because they want to try to cater to guys like me that skated when we were little kids and into teenagers before the popsicle shape was a thing. But I would highly recommend a bigger board if it's your first time. Probably not as big as a 9-inch, but an 8.25 or an 8.5 would be a really good place to start. And here's my narwhal board with the slide rails on it. This is an 8.25, and it's really comfortable under my feet. I wear a size 10 shoe, US. So, if you're looking for an average size board, it's pretty good under your feet. It's got a good board feel. 8.25 is going to be a really good suggestion for you. And then back to my Waltz Yuta Fuji freestyle board. It is a 7.5 or 7.75, and it's smaller, but it's not like one of the smallest freestyle boards that I've seen or skated. I haven't used, but I've seen 7s and 7.25s and 7.5-inch boards. A lot of the smaller boards aren't twin tails like this one. It's a symmetrical board, so most times you're not going to see that. Unless you're getting into freestyle specifically, I really wouldn't recommend picking one up. The smaller boards are definitely harder to control. And you've got, a shortened wheelbase in between, the trucks. The tails are, not as steep. A lot of freestyle boards don't even have like much of a nose. They're very flat on the front end with a little bit of a kick on the back end on the tail. So if you're just starting out, I really wouldn't recommend that one. Sorry about that, boards. There's an old Kryptonics. This was my oldest son's. He had, I don't even remember buying this for him, but he said he's had it since he was 10. And he's 26 now. So it's a shaped board, and it's more of an old school kind of shape with a small nose. And, this one has a pretty decent sized tail. Kryptonics has been around for a long time. Not exactly known these days as, the highest quality boards, but they're still, if you can find a Kryptonics, get on it. It's going to roll around pretty good. This was one of my wife's boards. It was a cruiser semi-longboard, and it's really, really flat. It's almost completely flat. There's hardly any concave. It's a little bit on the bottom. You can feel it, but the concave is not there. If you're trying to learn how to do longboarding, it's not bad. All right, so I'm hoping that I can make this work a little better. Now that I've got the audio set back up here in Pop's Garage, I should be able to do some more of my voiceover stuff a little better and not have as much background noise as I have in the past. So if you like what you see in here, if it looks and sounds better, let me know. If it looks and sounds worse, let me know. And we'll go from there. I've got a lot of old audio equipment that I was a musician. I played live a lot. And so I've got tons of stuff laying around that I really don't use anymore because I don't. My drum set isn't set up. I haven't touched a guitar in I don't know how long. It's sad, really, that I don't use that stuff. And I have a giant space right here that I could definitely have a band set up in here, but I'd rather use my skateboards. Ooh, I do have a shaped board that I want to show you. If you saw me with my friend Grampy at the skate park the other day, if you watched that video, he's a really great guy. I've known him for a couple years now. First time I met him, we met through TikTok, I think, is where we TikTok or Instagram, one of those two. And we got together at the Florence skate park in Florence, Kentucky. And right away, we just became really good friends. We're similar in age. He's about a year and a half younger than me, maybe 2 years. He just got into skating. He hasn't been skating for more than like a year and a half. Recently, Grampy was like, "Hey, I got this board, and I don't think I'm ever going to skate it. It's not the kind of shape that I want to skate." He's a popsicle skater, and somebody had given him this board, this deck, and it's a super cool deck. But he was like, I don't think I'm ever going to ride it. And even if you don't ride it, you have it on display there in Pop's garage so other people can see it when they come over and skate, or if you have it on your videos or whatever. So I said, okay, I'll take it. And it's been sitting here in the garage for a couple months now. But this is a John Lucero, kind of a remake, old school shape. It's got a big nose, but it's not a monster size nose, and it's definitely, as you can see, it's a shaped board. And this shape reminds me a lot of the old H Street skateboards, late 80s, early 90s H Street. And one of my favorite boards that I ever had, it reminds me of the Ron Allen No Scratch graphics as far as the shape and the size goes. That board, I loved that board. Ron Allen is still one of my favorite skateboarders. I love that guy to death. And seeing him at Tampa Pro last year, or at the Tampa Am, I can't remember which one he competed in last year, but that was awesome to see him doing stuff out there. He's older than me, and to see guys like that are still out there crushing it and still doing competitions. And I think he actually just released a street part not too long ago, which was fun to watch. But yeah, this, a board like this, the shaped board, a bigger board. I haven't measured this one. I'm going to guess it's probably closer to 9.5 or 10-inch deck. I'm stretching my fingers as far as I can get, and I still have like an inch over here. So yeah, this is a pretty big board. I don't have the trucks for it right now, and I'm currently out of my clear grip tape. So as soon as I figure out truck size and wheels that I want to put on that, and as soon as I order another roll of grip tape, because that's how I roll. You guys probably noticed that, most of my boards have clear grip tape on them, and that's because I like to see the top of the board. I always have. Even as a kid, as soon as I found out there was clear grip tape, I didn't use black. I just don't like black. It's just boring. I want to see what's on top of that deck, man. If it's pretty looking wood, I want to see the pretty wood underneath my feet. If it's got a graphic, who wouldn't want to see that underneath your feet as you're going down the street? That's just super cool. That's why I use clear grip tape. And I will say, I've pretty much, for the last 4 years, all I've used is Black Diamond clear grip tape. I buy it, and like I said, I buy it by the roll. So I ran out not too long ago. I'm trying to think which one of the boards that I had I used the last of the clear on, but it may have been, I don't know. I don't remember which one I used the last of it on. So those are kind of some of the, again, I know I said I was going to say, which boards were good for beginners and, which ones are good for returners on the previous video. And I'm sorry that I missed out on that, but I hope this little segment here has been helpful for you guys. And as always, like right here, right above right there. If you would, go check out arraybrand.com and go under Geezer League Goods or Geezer Goods, and you'll find our t-shirts, and we do have a couple of boards that are there. So you've probably noticed the Geezer League logo here today, and I put that there because, I realized coming up this August will be 2 years since my buddy Grampy and my friend Sean the Kook and I started Geezer League Skateboarding. And I'm hoping I can get something done in my garage before August so we can have a 2-year anniversary special here in the garage and maybe do a live. I'm not sure how that's going to work out with YouTube. I used to do TikTok lives until my camera, literally, I don't know why. It'll record audio if I'm just doing video, but as soon as I try to do FaceTime, the microphone stops working, and if I try to do lives, the microphone stops working. So the last couple times I tried to do a TikTok live, I had zero audio, and I just decided I wasn't going to try to mess with it for a while. So now that I've got this setup again going, I might be able to do some live stuff once I figure out how that works with YouTube. So I've got until about August, and we'll see what happens. All right, I think that's going to be it for me from this spot, from my little booth, so to speak. I got to move some stuff around in the garage so I can actually skate, because I've got, light set up there, camera over there, camera here. And obviously all this stuff up here is out of the way from the floor space, but I'm going to try to clear some floor space and get a quick session in and go from there. But I'm hoping that all of this stuff is going to continue to work each time I come out here and set it up. I'm going to try to leave as much as I can in place, so it's just like plug in that and get the cameras set up and go from there. There we go. All right, so I think that's going to be it for me for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'll throw in some skate clips here in the middle somewhere, hopefully, and I'll talk to you guys later.